guys, it's your girl Camryn and I'm back at it again with yet another video. Today's video is gonna be a little bit different. I'm gonna be doing a commentary video. So I wanted to talk about this because I've been seeing some talk about it, specifically on Twitter. We're gonna be talking about the fact that the Victoria's Secret fashion show is canceled for 2019. Now initially, in the big scheme of things, I do not care. Like, I really don't. And I think a lot of people I thought a lot of people didn't care. So I really wasn't going to touch the topic. And honestly, I'm a little bit late. I think the news dropped at least maybe about a week ago at this point. But I was scrolling through Twitter and I was seeing a lot of opinions about it. And a lot of people were liking and retweeting it. Some opinions that I didn't necessarily agree with, which is fine, but it made me realize that maybe this discussion is a little bit bigger than just the fashion show itself, that it has a lot to do with beauty standards, ideas about like sensitivity. A lot of people argue that our society today is too sensitive, which I agree with and I disagree with. I think sensitivity is required to understand each other and to better become understanding. A lot of bad habits as people that have been created out of society that need to be corrected. So I kind of agree, but I kind of disagree. And I kind of wanted to touch on the show itself as the show, which I think is not as important. And I also wanted to discuss a bigger issue that I feel like is underlying out of all of this. But I will be sharing some tweets and things that I saw on the internet that inspired me to make this video, and also to add other commentary and other people's opinions, because I don't want this to seem one-sided. Hit that like button, smash it down below. Definitely comment down below. Let me know if you agree with me. Do you respectfully, I was about to say disrespectfully. If you respectfully agree with me. If you respectfully disagree with me, I can't get it together, guys, clearly. Please hit that subscribe button down below. Road to 1K. We are so close. Guys, look down there. We're close, okay? So definitely hit that sub button if you want to become a part of the gang, a part of the fam, and a part of the winning team hope, period. And with all that being said, let's just get straight into the commentary. Let's go. I wanted to start this video out by sharing with you guys a tweet that I saw that was kind of like, maybe I want to talk about this. This tweet says, "Y'all made VS quit their fashion show just because y'all fat AF and sensitive." And this tweet got 95K likes and 21.8K retweets. So, and I saw another tweet that was very similar to this, and I was like, no, hold up. Let's just look at the facts first off. So Victoria's Secret, let's see. Victoria's Secret show canceled. Also reading this article by Variety.com. So it says that the Victoria's Secret fashion show is officially canceled. L Brand CFO Stuart confirmed to analysts on the company's earnings call on Tuesday that the hour-long special, which has aired since 2001, would not be happening. Why? The official answer is that L Brands, the parent company of Victoria's Secret and Bath & Body Works, wants to evolve the marketing of its signature lingerie brand, and the show itself had no immediate impact on sales of its bras and underwear. So, I wanted to read that because I think this whole narrative that it's just canceled because people are fat and insensitive is very false. And people are not actually looking at why. Now, that's not to say they probably did have pressure to do something with their show because people were complaining about that. But in my opinion, I do think as a marketing strategy, they need to fix. Let me just talk about Victoria's Secret as a brand first and foremost. I just personally feel like Victoria's Secret sales have been proven to go down. Yeah, over the past few years, people just have not been buying Victoria's Secret products like they used to. So that does require, you have to look at your marketing and say, what am I doing? What am I not doing? And a lot of people who buy their products are everyday women, right? Victoria's Secret was very popular, I don't really shop at Victoria's Secret at all. It's overpriced, and I don't know. That was my main reason. I do think that they have a lot of cute things, but I feel like you could go elsewhere for a better price. And for their main marketing tactic, to be a fashion show that, again, didn't really raise sales, because let's be real here, in this fashion show, I mean, they were accessorizing so much. It's like at the point where you're not even able to buy half of the pieces that they're wearing on the runway in this show. So people aren't watching it for your products. And I feel like if you're trying to do a fashion show, your aim should be to raise sales. But clearly they're sitting here saying that it was not really doing that. I agree that marketing wise, it is a smart business move to shut it down. As consumers, you are allowed to have an issue with the company's branding, whatnot. Now, people were talking, we're going to refer to this tweet, and I'll remind you guys what it said again. I completely disagree with this statement. And I do feel like for people who are not a size 0, it is valid to have a problem with it. Now, let's acknowledge that Victoria's Secret is not a high fashion couture show, okay? We all know that with normal high fashion couture shows, they typically choose thin models, right? And again, runway models are typically thinner, okay? I understand why in the early 2000s and even mid 2000s, why it was popular, especially for the Victoria's Secret fashion show, to be skinny. However, or invent of social media, there has definitely been a resurgence of normal people being in the public eye. So you no longer need to be a size 0 to be on the cover of a magazine. You no longer need to be a 00 to necessarily be in a ad campaign or necessarily even walk down the runway anymore. So I think as time evolves, things evolve, and there's nothing wrong with that. So I feel like with people complaining, y'all are just mad. I think things need to evolve. It's a brand that is literally in every mall in America, and everyday women buy your products. I get it. With couture, you're targeting a specific audience. You know, average Joe Schmo probably ain't gonna be able to buy the clothes, so who cares? You know what I mean? But the difference with the VS show, that's different than y'all being fat and insensitive. No, because a lot of the people who are buying their products are women who are, again, not a size 0, not even a size 1, not a size 2. Average size of an American woman is now between 16 to 18, which is an increase from 10-year-old data. So now that, of course, means that there's women under that and over that. And nobody's trying to promote any unhealthy living styles, whether you're too skinny or too big, right? But all I'm saying is that for a brand that is supposed to be selling to normal women, this is not a high fashion couture brand, and it's in every mall of America, it's very popular, for you guys to totally disregard the fact that your models look a certain way, it's getting played out. I think that they need to remarket and rebrand. And you know what? I'm not going to even hate on Victoria's Secret for doing that. I'm not. If they want to go back and remarket, great. I feel like you should be doing that as a business. But again, I think that's where the frustration is coming from, guys. I don't think it has anything to do with, well, why is it just skinny girls? I don't think you should shame the models because they're skinny. But I'm just saying that the fact that there has been reports of them like refusing to put on bigger models, like, that's where I think the problem is and where the disconnect for people are. And I don't think again, there's enough of y'all who want to watch it, so they didn't really have to cancel it because of opinions. But as a business standpoint, they wanted to remarket because guess what? I think it's about time. Growing up, this fashion show, it was cute, it was cool, but for the longest, I did not connect to it. And I am a small girl. Like, it's not anything to do with size for me. And they have gotten better with showing races and especially black models on the runway. But for me, growing up, there was always maybe like those 2 token like black models. Occasionally, like Tyra Banks would come, you know, down the runway, or maybe Naomi, I don't really know. But there was a disconnect for me because of the race factor. But when there's a bunch of blonde models and brunette models on the runway that look nothing like me, what does that have anything to do with me? And then for the longest, when I was little, I mean, let's be real here, like, I just didn't care about Victoria's Secret. So to me, it's never been that thing that I'm ever going to fight hard for.
Why are you guys taking away this tradition?
No. Nah, it's not that great, guys. I promise you it's not. From seeing other people's opinions on this, I think it is that deep. And that's why I think this is a part of a bigger conversation about insensitivity or sensitivity and beauty standards. So I really want to bring up something that I feel like you can't not is the Fenty fashion show. So I watched the Fenty fashion show. It was on Amazon. It wasn't broadcasted or televised on regular TV. That was something.
Boy, if you don't get...
Just the show, it was so innovative. I've never seen a fashion show like that. What fashion show is incorporating dance in that manner, music in that manner, the set, the runway? Like, it wasn't even a runway. It was a stage. It was a presentation. And Rihanna revolutionized what I think VS was like, you know what? We could be doing so much better and so much more.
Pretty legendary, if you ask me. I love it.
Some people might like the way VS does it, but to me, I think everything runs its course, and I think it's just ran its course at this point. I wouldn't have tuned in this year. I wouldn't care enough to tune in this year. This is boring and played out, in my opinion. But again, you have to revolutionize. You have to evolve with the times. It's not always sensitivity, because back then when shit was wrong and shit was not okay in society, when people were trying to change it, people were saying, y'all are just being sensitive. Society evolves. So when I'm talking about beauty standards, when I'm talking about sensitivity, this opinion is a broader aspect of everything that people just sometimes really don't want change. And there's nothing wrong with change at all. You will be okay without Victoria's Secret fashion show, and it'll probably be back in a year. Like, it probably will be. Now, going back to Fenty, people were like, this is what we want to see. And you see how well it was received, because they were all body types, sizes, walks of life. There were people who would have never been given the opportunity to walk in a fashion show that were given that opportunity, and people went crazy. And Rihanna's brand is Savage Fenty is doing amazing. I get it. The word inclusive is probably very annoying for some people, but the fact that it just was able to represent and show all types of women, because all types of women wear bras and underwear. Every woman does, you know what I mean? So that's why I think when you're marketing products like this, it is important that the consumer can see themselves in your product. That doesn't mean that they have to look exactly like your model, but when you're presenting unrealistic beauty standards for a company, a brand that is marketed to everyday women, and maybe Victoria's Secret wanted it to be at another caliber when they made it, and I get that, but with the times that are changing, it's time that you understand that your ass needs to change too. And that is what it is. You can cry about it, you can sulk about it, and if you want your brand to be successful, you need to change with the mother effing times. So, with all that being said, that's my opinion on it. I think that there's a bigger issue here that I don't understand the animosity. So, I wanted to go to Twitter, and personally, I want to share some opinions. Canceling the Victoria's Secret fashion show because it showcases unrealistic beauty standards is effing ridiculous. LMFAO, those girls work so hard to be on that stage. The level of sensitivity is absurd. I don't think anybody's arguing that those girls work hard to get on that stage. That's not the argument. And there's a lot of other people and models who work very hard to try to get to that level, but keep getting turned down because they look a certain way. And the gag is some of these girls don't even be big for real. Like, the model industry, like a freaking size 8 or something is big. You see what I'm saying? Like, the whole thing is just effed up. So to me, I don't think it's the fact that anybody's arguing that these girls do not work hard and that they don't deserve to be up there. I'm not saying, I think a lot of those girls deserve to be there. They're good at what they do. I mean, arguably, it's kind of cringy to me. Some of the girls are like, it's a little dramatic for my taste. Also, other people who work very hard to try to get to that place and will never get there just because they don't look a certain way. And they might be gorgeous, bomb as hell, talented as hell, but they can't get there because of their size. So I don't really agree with that. Like, it's not that serious. Like, you'll be okay without the fashion show. Like, I promise. Life will still go on. The world will still go round. You know, like it's gonna be great. You'll be fine. You'll sleep at night. I hope you do. Because if you're not sleeping at night over this, like I really think, I mean, you're not a Victoria's Secret model. You're not getting the check. So I would hope you're not that concerned and upset with it being canceled. But this girl says, sorry, but VS shouldn't have to change their entire image just to make everyone feel included. Not everything is for everyone. Go F and cry about it. Victoria's Secret is a brand that caters and sells to all women. So as far as I'm concerned, it is for everyone. Nobody's saying that you have to promote obesity on the runway, and nobody's saying you have to promote anorexia on the runway. Healthy, or just even normal size, like an average size woman, to sprinkle that in a little bit. And then someone goes, I disagree, and if you worked there, you would too. Many women feel like they don't contain this standard because VS bras don't fit them, or their skin is some acne and they have insecurities. So the thing about acne and stuff, like I'm not sitting here saying that a model like y'all need to sit here and show acne on the runway. Like I think that's where it's like, to make everybody feel included, you have to have somebody with acne, you have to have somebody with this and this and this to cover all bases. At that point, I think it would be disingenuous. My issue is just don't make it so strict as to what it has to be. Put some room for other representation in there. I do think I can agree that with certain things, it's a little like everybody needs to be included. It's a little excessive, but I do understand that there should be a change. It's wild that some of y'all be putting up posts, women supporting women, but when Victoria's Secret fashion show gets canceled, you be like in tweets calling people fat and sensitive. Okay, then. It's kind of how I feel about it. Certain things like this do have an underlying connotation. Like, bitch, you got a problem? The people who are watching clearly aren't buying because they're not seeing results. So y'all fighting so hard. I've been seeing a lot of negative tweets about it, but this one says, skinny white women crying about the VS fashion show being canceled is so funny because it's like, wow, for the first time ever, something isn't being catered to you. Kind of like how trans, plus size, disabled, and women of color feel every day of their life. I more so agree with a tweet like this. I don't think a fashion show's that serious. I think if you're looking at a fashion show to validate you, though, like period, regardless, like I think that's kind of a problem. For it to validate your existence and to make it feel like it's okay to be you, I feel like you have to learn how to do that on your own. But I do agree that, why are y'all crying about it? Why are you so mad about, and then she said skinny white women, I'm screaming. But like, seriously, why are you guys so mad about it being canceled? Like, I don't, y'all be ugly as shit with skinny bodies talking about fatties being sensitive. Victoria's Secret don't want you either, baby. We in the same boat. That's funny as hell. That's funny. Like, really, y'all? I talk a lot, so this video is probably going to be long as hell. Somebody said, Victoria's Secret show canceled? Good. It's outdated, just like Playboy brand. It's just horny, old men behind the scenes exploiting women, the models, and the customers. The only people who liked it are the girls who think they fit the mold. Regardless of inclusivity, whether you agree with that or not, I just think y'all need to do something else, because it's boring. It's boring as hell, bro. And the performances are getting weaker and weaker and weaker and weaker, okay? That tweet, I agree with wholeheartedly. So, I want to show you guys that Victoria's Secret has had stores that have been closing. So it says Victoria's Secret is closing 53 more stores. Its parent company, L Brands, which I mentioned before, announced this week. The closings announcement comes after 30 Victoria's Secret stores closed in 2018 compared with the average of 15 stores a year. You guys might not be like, that's not that much, but that wouldn't have happened 5-6 years ago. 15 stores a year isn't bad. That could have a lot to do with location, where it's at, like shit happens. That's not, I don't think, really a cry for help. But when we're talking about 53 and blah, 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 it's like, what's happening? That clearly means that people just aren't buying. Victoria's Secret, it's way too expensive, like for the price. It's not breaking the bank, but you'll see like a cute bra and it'll say some $45. What do I look like? No ma'am, no sir. Also, again, I do think it has to do with the fact that it's not really resonating with its consumers. As a business, you need to make sure that you are marketing to your audience. And if you are not doing that, this is what happens. Your sales go down. You guys can't look at it as people are being sensitive, because at the end of the day, that sensitivity is not paying the Victoria's Secret's bills. Because clearly people aren't buying, and as a business, they need to cater to that. Y'all just want these heifers to go out of business and be done. But they need to listen to people, because if that's the case, y'all won't have Victoria's Secret at all. And I'm sure you guys, your world will just be lost because you guys just care so much about Victoria's Secret. Like, I honestly don't know what you're going to do with yourself. But I think they do need to take this time to market. Will they fix it? I don't know. I'm not going to knock them for trying. I know they didn't really want to try in the past because people have been saying this. But Fenty really was like, I think, they were probably like, how are we going to get out here after she did that? They're not saying it's canceled indefinitely. That's not what I'm getting from the situation. I think they're just trying to get their stuff together. Not mad at that. I don't hate Victoria's Secret. I don't hate the models. If anything, I think a lot of those girls are gorgeous. And yes, they do work hard. However, that does not mean that there are other people who, and I'm not saying don't hire people who aren't models if you don't want to, you know? But there are other people who work very hard for what they do, who want the chance to be seen, and they're being turned down. So you have to learn that you might have to change what you want to market to the everyday middle-class women of all sizes, races, shapes, abilities, blah, 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 blah. You might have to switch some shit up. I think the people who are so mad that it's canceled are being sensitive. Because it's bigger than that. Y'all ain't even looking at the facts. You don't want to look at the facts. You're just trying to defend the models, which I don't know why. Because again, like that girl said, they wouldn't be employing you. So for what are you fighting for? Whether it was going to be on this year or whether it wasn't did not affect me until I started seeing these ignorant tweets. And I was like, I need to say something because I feel compelled to. So this was my unsolicited opinion. I hope you enjoyed. Please comment down below. Do you agree with me? Do you respectfully disagree with me? I can respect it if you do. I'm not one-sided. No argument is ever black and white. Sometimes it is. When it comes to like racism shit, that's black and white. But some things are not always black and white. I can see both sides. I sway towards one, but I can respect a respectful opinion. Calling people fat and doing all this extra stuff, that's not respectful. That's very disrespectful. And that's what I don't do. As well, hit that sub button. You might as well stick along. Thank you guys so much for watching this long ass video. And I will see you guys in my next one. Bye.